Imagine standing in the eye of a storm, chaos swirling all around, yet you remain calm, unmoved, untouched. What if you could learn to harness that stillness, no matter what life throws at you? This video dives deep into the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. Think Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, who mastered the art of emotional resilience in a world full of uncertainty and pain. It's not about denying feelings or detaching from reality. It's about recognizing the invisible boundary between what you can control and what you cannot. We all waste precious energy reacting to insults, setbacks, and the unpredictable tides of life, getting caught in a whirlpool that drags us deeper into frustration and suffering. But the Stoics offer a radical shift, a way to reclaim that energy by training your mind to respond with calm, wisdom, and unshakable strength. Through 7 secret habits, you'll discover how to build an inner fortress that guards your peace, choosing your battles with precision, seeing others' attacks as mirrors of their own struggles, and cultivating a mindset so powerful that no external chaos can infiltrate. This is more than philosophy. It's a practical guide to true freedom, freedom from emotional turmoil, from being a hostage to circumstances. By embracing this path, you step into a daily ritual of mental mastery, forging a life lived not by reaction, but by deliberate, grounded action. If you're ready to rise above the noise, to live fully and meaningfully despite the storms raging outside, these 7 Stoic habits will be your secret weapons. Stay with me until the end, because once you learn to protect your inner calm, nothing in life will ever shake you the same way again. 7 secret Stoic habits to stay untouched by life's storms. 1. Master the art of separating control. 2. Cultivate calm before the storm. 3. Choose your battles with wisdom. See criticism as a reflection, not a rejection. 5. Respond with silent strength, not reaction. 6. Build mental fortitude before chaos hits. 7. Commit to daily training of the mind. If this is making sense to you so far, like the video and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Your support helps this message reach more people seeking true inner peace in a world that often feels anything but calm. Now let's dive deeper into these 7 secret Stoic habits, the practical tools that will empower you to stand firm, unshaken, no matter what gales sweep through your life. 1. Master the art of separating control. The first, and arguably most foundational, Stoic habit is to deeply, truly understand and embody the art of separating what you can control from what you cannot. Think of it as drawing an invisible, yet ironclad line around your sphere of influence. On one side of that line are your thoughts, your judgments, your desires, your intentions, and your actions. These are entirely within your power. On the other side, everything else. Other people's opinions, their actions, the weather, traffic, global events, the economy, your health, your reputation, whether your flight is delayed, or if your favorite coffee shop is out of your usual blend. We often fall into the trap of spending enormous amounts of energy, emotional and mental, trying to wrestle with things that are fundamentally outside our control. Consider the daily commute. You're stuck in traffic, a sea of red brake lights stretching into the horizon. Your immediate reaction might be frustration, anger, a sense of powerlessness. You might honk, mutter curses, or grip the steering wheel tighter. But what does any of that accomplish? Does it make the traffic move faster? Does it change the external situation one iota? No. All it does is erode your inner peace, elevate your stress, and make you miserable. The Stoic practice here, championed by Epictetus, is to recognize that while you cannot control the traffic, you absolutely can control your response to it. You can choose to listen to an audiobook, practice mindfulness, or simply accept the present moment as it is, understanding that this delay, like all external events, is an indifferent. It is neither inherently good nor bad. It only becomes good or bad through your judgment of it. This habit isn't about being passive or indifferent to the world. It's about being strategically active. When a colleague criticizes your work, you can't control their words or their judgment, but you can control how you interpret their feedback, whether you allow it to derail your confidence, and how you choose to improve or not improve based on it. When a market downturn impacts your investments, you can't control the market, but you can control your financial decisions, your spending habits, and your emotional stability in the face of uncertainty. The liberation that comes from truly internalizing this distinction is profound. It's like dropping a heavy burden you didn't even realize you were carrying. You stop fighting battles you can't win and reclaim your mental energy for the battles that matter, the battles within yourself, to cultivate virtue, wisdom, and inner tranquility. Start by consciously observing your reactions throughout the day. When you feel frustration bubbling up, pause. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, can I adjust my judgment or my response? This daily self-inquiry is the first step toward building that impenetrable inner fortress. Chapter 2. Cultivate calm before the storm. The second secret Stoic habit is a powerful proactive measure known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This isn't about being a pessimist, constantly expecting the worst. Quite the opposite. It's about building mental resilience by deliberately contemplating potential adversities before they strike, so that when they do, you are not caught off guard, but are instead mentally and emotionally prepared. Imagine a sailor who only learns to navigate rough waters when a hurricane is already upon him. Disaster is almost certain. A wise sailor, however, spends calm days studying charts, practicing maneuvers, and fortifying his vessel, mentally rehearsing how he would handle a storm. The Stoics advocate for this same kind of preparedness for the storms of life. In our modern lives, we often shy away from thinking about potential difficulties. We might avoid thinking about a job loss, a serious illness, the breakdown of a relationship, or a financial setback. We tell ourselves it's negative thinking, but this avoidance leaves us vulnerable. When these inevitable challenges arrive, as they always do in some form, they hit us like a sudden shockwave, overwhelming our emotions and hijacking our reason. Cultivating calm before the storm means taking a few moments each day or a few times a week to mentally confront hypothetical difficulties. How would you respond if your internet suddenly went out during an important video call? How would you react if a close friend betrayed your trust? What if your meticulously planned project went sideways? By running these scenarios through your mind, you do several things. Firstly, you strip the event of its power to surprise and overwhelm you. Much of our suffering comes from the unexpected nature of adversity. Secondly, you begin to formulate rational responses. Instead of panicking, your mind has already considered options, reducing the emotional impact. Thirdly, and most importantly, you realize that most imagined calamities, while unpleasant, are survivable. You discover your inner strength and resilience before it's urgently needed. Seneca, a master of this practice, advised us to set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" This isn't self-punishment. It's a form of mental vaccination. It inoculates you against the shock of misfortune and helps you appreciate what you have when things are good. So instead of just hoping for the best, spend a few minutes actively preparing for the possibility of less than ideal outcomes, not to invite them, but to fortify your mind against them. When you consistently practice this, you'll find that when actual storms do arrive, you meet them not with panic, but with a quiet, grounded confidence, because you've already walked through them in your mind. Choose your battles with wisdom. The third powerful Stoic habit is to choose your battles with wisdom. This involves a conscious, deliberate assessment of where you invest your invaluable time, energy, and emotional resources. In a world constantly vying for our attention, demanding our outrage, and inviting us into countless trivial conflicts, the ability to selectively engage is a superpower. Think about your average day. How many times are you presented with an opportunity to engage in a minor disagreement, an online argument, a petty office drama, or a frustrating interaction with a stranger? Our modern landscape, particularly online, is a minefield of potential skirmishes, each one a tiny drain on our mental and emotional reserves. We are often drawn into these battles reflexively, driven by ego, by a need to be right, or simply by habit. The Stoic perspective challenges us to pause and ask, is this worth it? Will engaging in this conflict bring me closer to my goals? Will it serve my virtues? Or will it merely dissipate my energy, elevate my stress, and distract me from what truly matters? Consider the common scenario of an online comment section. Someone posts an inflammatory remark, perhaps about a topic you care deeply about. Your immediate impulse might be to write a lengthy, impassioned rebuttal, to correct their misinformation, or to challenge their perceived ignorance. But stop. What is the likely outcome? Will you change their mind? Will you change the minds of anonymous bystanders? Or will you merely ignite a lengthy, frustrating back and forth that leaves you feeling drained and irritable? A wise Stoic recognizes that not every slight requires a response. Not every wrong needs to be righted by them. And not every perceived injustice is worthy of their personal crusade. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the fleeting nature of life and the importance of focusing on what is truly essential. He understood that wasting energy on trivial conflicts meant less energy for self-improvement, for contributing meaningfully, and for cultivating inner peace. This habit requires a strong sense of self-awareness and a clear understanding of your values. If a battle genuinely aligns with your core principles, if it's an opportunity to uphold justice, to protect the vulnerable, or to achieve a significant and virtuous outcome, then perhaps it is a battle worth fighting. But the vast majority of daily provocations fall into the category of indifference, things that neither enhance nor detract from your virtue, and are therefore not worth engaging in. Practicing this habit means cultivating the ability to discern. Before you respond, before you engage, take a breath. Ask yourself, what is the true cost of this engagement? What is the potential gain? Is this truly within my sphere of influence? And is it a wise use of that influence? Often the most powerful response is no response at all. A calm, silent disengagement that preserves your inner peace and allows you to redirect your energy toward actions that truly uplift you and those around you. 4. See criticism as a reflection, not a rejection. The fourth secret Stoic habit is a transformative way of approaching criticism. to see it not as a personal rejection, but as a reflection, either of the truth or of the critic themselves. In our hyper-connected, often judgmental world, criticism, whether from a boss, a family member, or an anonymous online commenter, can feel like a direct assault on our self-worth. Yet, the Stoics offer a path to disarm its sting. Our instinctual reaction to criticism is often defensive. We feel wounded, misunderstood, or unfairly targeted. This knee-jerk emotional response prevents us from objectively evaluating the feedback. But what if we could develop the mental clarity to separate the message from the messenger's intent and from our own ego? The Stoics taught us that other people's opinions are external events entirely outside our control. Therefore, seeking their approval or fearing their disapproval makes us slaves to their judgments. Instead, they urged us to turn inward, to focus on our own character and actions which are truly within our power. When faced with criticism, employ a two-step Stoic filter. First, evaluate the truth of the criticism. Is there any validity to what is being said? Could this be an opportunity for growth or self-correction? A wise Stoic embraces feedback even if delivered harshly, if it contains a kernel of truth that can lead to improvement. Marcus Aurelius, as emperor, often reflected on the importance of listening to others, even those who might disagree with him, to refine his own judgments and actions. If the criticism points to a flaw you genuinely possess, then it is a gift, an opportunity to practice self-awareness and self-mastery. Accept it gracefully, make the necessary internal adjustment, and move on, feeling stronger for the insight. Second, if, after careful and honest self-assessment, you determine the criticism is unfounded, then see it as a reflection of the critic. Perhaps they are projecting their own insecurities, their ignorance, their envy, or their mistaken perceptions onto you. Perhaps they are simply having a bad day. Their judgment, in this case, says nothing about your worth or your actions, but everything about their internal state or worldview. Epictetus often reminded his students that when someone criticizes you, it is merely their opinion, their impression. You do not have to assent to it. You do not have to let it disturb your inner peace. Consider an example. You pour your heart into a creative project, only for someone to dismiss it as mediocre or unoriginal. Your ego screams for you to defend it. But a Stoic pause allows you to ask, is it truly mediocre? Could it be improved? If so, great, learn from it. If not, if you stand by your work and know you gave your best, then the critic's words are simply a reflection of their taste, their standards, their day. They cannot reach your inner citadel unless you open the gates for them. By adopting this habit, you reclaim your emotional sovereignty. You become immune to the vacillations of external opinion, allowing constructive criticism to build you up, and unconstructive criticism to simply pass through, leaving no lasting trace. You transform potential wounds into opportunities for growth or exercises in compassionate detachment, securing your peace regardless of what others choose to say, not reaction. The fifth secret Stoic habit is perhaps the most visible manifestation of true self-mastery, the ability to respond with silent strength rather than an impulsive, often regrettable reaction. This habit operates in the crucial gap between an external stimulus and your internal response, a space that most people allow to be instantly filled by emotion. The Stoic, however, learns to expand this gap, to insert reason, and to choose their response deliberately. We live in a world that often rewards reactivity, Instant messages, rapid-fire social media posts, the expectation of immediate answers, all train us to respond without thinking. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and a curse leaps from your lips. An email arrives with an infuriating tone, and your fingers fly across the keyboard, crafting an equally scathing reply. A friend makes a casual remark that pricks a raw nerve, and you snap back. These are all reactions, automatic, unexamined, and often fueled by primal emotions like anger, fear, or insecurity. The Stoics understood that true freedom lies in breaking this chain of stimulus response. Epictetus famously said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters." He taught that we are often disturbed not by things themselves, but by our judgments about things. When an impression hits us, we have a choice: to give our assent to it or to withhold it. Cultivating silent strength means intentionally creating a pause. When you feel that surge of emotion, the heat of anger, the knot of anxiety, the sting of hurt, before you speak, before you act, take a breath. Just one deep, conscious breath. In that fleeting moment, you insert a space for reason to enter. You ask yourself, what is truly happening here? What is within my control in this situation? What is the wisest, most virtuous response? Will my immediate reaction truly serve me, or will it lead to regret? This pause is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. It's about recognizing that you are not your emotions. You experience emotions. By not immediately assenting to the impression, you reclaim your agency. You move from being a slave to your impulses to being the master of your mind. Consider a situation at work. Your manager unfairly blames you for a team mistake. Your gut reaction is to immediately defend yourself, to point fingers, to become visibly agitated. But if you practice the pause, you might choose to take a breath, let the initial surge of emotion pass, and then calmly ask for clarification. Gather facts, and later, if necessary, present your case with reasoned arguments, not emotional outbursts. This measured response, this silent strength, projects confidence, control, and wisdom. It earns respect in a way that an impulsive reaction never could. This habit is a daily practice of self-observation and self-restraint. It's about building a mental muscle that allows you to stand firm, undisturbed by external provocations, and to act in alignment with your highest values. Even when your immediate feelings scream for a different, more impulsive course of action. It's the practice of becoming the calm eye in the center of any storm. Build mental fortitude before chaos hits. The sixth secret Stoic habit builds on the principle of proactive preparation. To deliberately and consistently build mental fortitude before chaos hits. This isn't just about intellectual understanding of Stoic principles. It's about making them an integral part of your mental and emotional DNA through regular, intentional practice in the everyday, seemingly mundane moments of life. Many people think of philosophy as something to turn to only when crisis strikes, a lifeboat to grab in a shipwreck. But the Stoics saw philosophy as a rigorous training regimen, a daily workout for the mind and spirit, designed to make you strong enough to weather any storm, big or small. Just as an athlete trains their body every day, not just on competition day, a Stoic trains their mind every day, not just when misfortune knocks. How do we build this mental fortitude? It involves several key practices. Voluntary discomfort, asceticism. This doesn't mean extreme self-deprivation, but rather intentionally stepping outside your comfort zone in small, manageable ways. Take a cold shower, occasionally skip a meal, fasting. Walk instead of driving for a short distance, sleep on the floor for a night, or go without your phone for an hour. Seneca famously advocated for periodically experiencing mild forms of hardship to prove to ourselves that we can endure. These acts build resilience. They teach you that you are not beholden to comfort, and that you can function perfectly well and even thrive when things aren't perfectly aligned with your desires. When a real inconvenience or hardship arrives, you've already inoculated yourself with the knowledge that I've handled worse, and I can handle this. Practicing gratitude. In a world constantly pushing us to desire more, to compare ourselves to others, and to focus on what's lacking, Stoicism encourages us to pause and reflect on what we already have. Even in challenging circumstances, there is always something to be grateful for. The simple act of breathing, a warm cup of coffee, the love of a friend, the functionality of your body. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself of the blessings in his life. Daily gratitude cultivates contentment and prevents the mind from being consumed by negative rumination, strengthening it against the temptations of victimhood and discontent. Mindful observation of thoughts. Your thoughts are the primary battleground. Practice observing your thoughts without immediately identifying with them or judging them. When a negative thought arises, "I'm not good enough," "this is going to be terrible," don't immediately believe it. Instead, notice it, acknowledge its presence, and then ask, "Is this true? Is this helpful? Is this within my control?" This metacognitive practice weakens the grip of destructive thought patterns and empowers you to choose which thoughts you assent to, building a solid mental barrier against internal chaos. Learning and reflection. Dedicate time each day to reading Stoic texts or any philosophy that cultivates wisdom and virtue, and then reflect on how you can apply those lessons to your own life. Journal about your experiences, your challenges, and your attempts to practice Stoic principles. This constant engagement with ideas of virtue, reason, and resilience is like intellectual weightlifting, progressively strengthening your mental faculties. Building mental fortitude is not about avoiding problems. It's about developing the inner strength to meet them head-on with equanimity and wisdom. It's about recognizing that true strength comes not from never falling, but from getting up every single time, stronger than before. By intentionally engaging in these practices in your daily life, you fortify your mind long before the next wave of chaos even begins to form on the horizon, ensuring you possess the inner resources to navigate it skillfully. 7. Commit to daily training of the mind. And finally, the seventh, and perhaps most crucial secret Stoic habit, the unwavering commitment to daily training of the mind. This isn't a one-time fix or a set of techniques to deploy only when things go wrong. Stoicism is a way of life, a philosophy to be lived, breathed, and practiced consistently, every single day. Just as you wouldn't expect to run a marathon by only training once a month, you cannot expect to achieve profound inner peace and resilience without continuous mental discipline. Think of your mind as a garden. If left untended, weeds will inevitably take over. Negative thoughts, irrational fears, impulsive desires, and external distractions will choke out any potential for beauty and tranquility. Daily training is the act of consistently weeding, planting good seeds, and nurturing the soil of your mind. This daily training encompasses and reinforces all the previous habits. It's not about adding an overwhelming new list of tasks to your day, but about integrating Stoic principles into the fabric of your existence, making them as natural as breathing. Morning preparation. Start your day with intention. Before the demands of the world rush in, take a few moments to review the Stoic principles you want to embody. Remind yourself of the dichotomy of control. Mentally rehearse potential challenges and how you will meet them with reason and virtue. Set an intention for how you will act, not react, throughout the day. This is your mental warm-up, preparing you for the day's events. Midday check-in. Take a few moments during the day to pause and assess your mental state. Are you adhering to your morning intentions? Have you succumbed to an irrational emotion? Have you wasted energy on something outside your control? This brief self-check allows for course correction in real time, preventing small slips from becoming major derailments. It's like a pilot checking their instruments mid-flight. Evening reflection. Philosophical journaling. This is one of the most potent practices. Before you sleep, review your day. Marcus Aurelius kept his meditations as a personal journal, a tool for self-examination and practice. Ask yourself, where did I act virtuously today? Where did I fall short? What external event provoked me? And how did I respond? Could I have responded better? What did I learn about myself or the world? What challenges might tomorrow bring, and how will I prepare? This honest self-assessment, free from judgment, is crucial for continuous improvement. It allows you to learn from your mistakes, celebrate your successes, and strengthen your resolve for the following day. It's a powerful feedback loop that solidifies your Stoic practice. The commitment to daily training means accepting that this is an ongoing journey, not a destination. There will be days when you excel and days when you falter. The Stoics were not emotionless statues. They were human beings striving for wisdom and virtue. What mattered was the consistent effort, the willingness to pick yourself up, learn, and continue the training. By committing to this daily regimen, you are not just learning philosophy, you are living it. You are actively building your inner citadel, brick by brick, habit by habit. Each conscious choice to separate control, to premeditate, to choose your battles, to reframe criticism, to respond with strength, and to proactively build fortitude, makes you more resilient, more peaceful, and truly more free. This consistent effort ensures that when the storms of life inevitably rage, your inner calm remains not just untouched but unshakable. The journey to an untouched mind, to that profound inner peace amidst life's ceaseless storms, isn't about denying your humanity or hardening your heart. It's about honing your reason, mastering your perceptions, and reclaiming your power over what truly belongs to you, your inner world. These 7 Stoic habits aren't ancient relics. They are timeless blueprints for building a life of profound resilience and calm, right here, right now, in the midst of modern chaos. Remember what the great Marcus Aurelius taught. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength isn't found in controlling the external world, but in diligently shaping your response to it. It's about understanding that while the waves may crash against your ship, you are the captain of your soul, and you alone determine its course. So, I ask you, how will you begin to forge your inner citadel today? What single habit from the 7 we've explored will you commit to practicing, starting now, to reclaim your peace and live truly untouched by the storms of life? If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel for more insights into living a life of purpose and peace. And leave a comment below, sharing which of these habits you're going to focus on first. Your thoughts and experiences enrich this community, and I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and cultivate your calm.